run the engine on my 2012 GT86. I really wish I could say this was a joke, but it's not. The engine is done for. Mostly. Anyway, let's get into it. Story time. It isn't comfortable sitting on the concrete, so I'm in here now. So, how did this happen? To answer that question, I don't honestly know. Like, I couldn't sit here and tell you exactly what caused it. I can only really tell you what I think caused it. Now, I was at Japfest last Sunday. Don't get me wrong, it was a great day. It was a blast. All the cars there look awesome. I got a lot of footage. There's been 2 YouTube videos I put up about it now. And it was a great day. Absolutely loved it. Now, on the way home, came to a tunnel, did the usual, you know, drop a gear, disappear sort of thing, you know. But I think with the engine being as old as it is, with as many miles as it has done, which is, it's currently at 104,952 miles. Now, with the engine having done that amount of miles, I've had it serviced not that long ago, actually. You know, only in January I had it serviced, full service. So I think it was a combination of sending it too hard and age. But anyway, dropped a gear, disappeared. Well, it didn't really disappear because it's an 86, didn't really go very far. But it made lots of noise, which made me happy. Just after doing all the pulls and whatnot, everything sounded fine, everything felt fine, no problems. After I got off the M25, we started noticing a knocking. Now, my first thought was, damn, like this is rod knock or something like that. The engine's kaput. In the end, I ended up speaking to someone who works at Toyota and has actually recently rebuilt their 86 because of an engine problem, because of an engine knocking problem. I'll put their Instagram on screen somewhere down here if you want to go and check them out. Absolutely lovely guy, he's great, and his car is sick. And I'm incredibly thankful for his help, because without him and without speaking to him and him being so helpful in telling me or giving me advice, I would never have got to the point where I'm at now. Now, he sent me a video of his car, and it was making exactly the same noise. He then went on to explain to me what the problem was and how he has fixed it and how he's, I mean, obviously it's not an easy fix because you've got to rebuild the engine, but there is a easier way to do it. Here's the clip of my car of what the knocking sounded like. As you can tell, it's not the worst sounding knock coming from an engine, but it's definitely not okay. Now, this guy recommended to me that I don't start the car again and I don't drive it anymore, because I run the risk of seizing the engine, and then it's basically game over. That would be a whole new engine. So let's get into what the actual problem is. So put simply, I've spun a main bearing, and basically what's happened is that piston or con rod, whatever they're called, is now knocking about on the camshaft, on the crankshaft, which is causing the knocking sound. Now, you can take the engine out, disassemble everything, split the short block, and then rebuild everything from there. However, there is a slightly cheaper way of doing it, which is basically you can actually go out and buy a brand new, fully assembled short block for these cars, which you then just have to strip all the heads off, take out the old short block, put in a new one, whip it all back together, job done. Obviously there's a little bit more to it than just that, but that is the main idea of it. The biggest issue I now face with getting this car fixed is money. I've just got to get the money together to buy all the bits to repair the car, which is a short block, a gasket kit, and maybe even a couple other bits as well. Once I've got those, I can then rebuild the engine and, well, be good to go. Now that's going to take a couple of months, unfortunately. So it's just hard in the fact that my car was accepted into a couple of shows, which I've now had to cancel. There's been other shows that we planned to go to, which I've had to cancel. We're still going to one more show tomorrow, which is the Petrol Hedonism Underground. We're still going to that tomorrow, but then from that point onwards, we won't be going to any more shows until the car is fixed. So all in all, it should really only be a couple of months and the car will be back up and running. Maybe even a bit better than it was before. Right now though, I've just got to prepare the car for dormancy, as the engine won't be running anymore. Well, the engine's not going to start again until it is rebuilt and put back together. So until then, I've got to basically try and keep the car as nice as I can. First thing I'm going to be doing is disconnecting the battery. Whether that just be taking the negative terminal off and then leaving it at that, or taking the whole battery out, I'm not sure yet. But I'm going to take that out so that way, once the car is rebuilt, then the battery is still okay. The other thing as well, not really as necessary because it's not going to be sat for that long, but I'm going to be chocking the back of the wheels, the back wheels, taking the handbrake off, so that way the handbrake don't seize on, or the pads don't seize on, because that would just be another expense once I've rebuilt it. Content will still be being made. I am not stopping that at all. I'm hoping that once I've got all the parts together, ready to rebuild the engine, that I can actually document that as well. So I can show you guys the whole rebuild process and what I do. Might give you guys a bit of insight if you need to do the same to your car, but it also might just be very entertaining. And lastly, I'll be giving it a good clean, giving it a good polish, and then putting it under a car cover so that it stays nice and clean, so that any bird droppings or sap from trees or whatever that falls on the car can't deteriorate the paintwork. And what a better opportunity to use my new Stiana Gloss products and the almighty Forced. I've always wanted to see how well it actually works, so might as well do it today, and I'll show you guys as well just how good this stuff is. I've never used it before. All the videos I've seen, it looks amazing, so let's get into it and see what it's like. And I'm spending this time cleaning these mats, but I think they're done as well. So I'm just going to take them out and place them. Car's washed. I now want to test out their drying towel. Toasty. I'm probably butchering all of the names.
but judging by what I saw on TikTok, this cow is amazing. And all the old ones, they're just a bit, they're done for really, they're old, they don't hold water anymore. This one's brand new out of the packet, so let's see how it does. Pretty much the whole car dry. I've had my fair share of drying towels in the past. I've been through all these different brands. This one, hands down the best, hands down. Now that's my car all cleaned up. However, it wasn't really dirty enough to show you what this stuff can actually do. So I've got my mum's car here, Fiat 500, and it's got a fair amount of dirt on it. So I'm going to show you just what forced can actually do. To leave it on there for a little bit longer than what I did, however, because it's the sun's out and it's so hot, I didn't want it to dry on the actual panel, so I gave it a few seconds and went from there. So this will give you an indication of what it's actually like, because if it does a good job just in a few seconds, just imagine what it'll do in a couple of minutes. All right, it's been a couple of minutes now, it's dried up a bit, and just look at the difference. Forced, no forced. That is incredible, and that was only a few seconds. So if I actually done it properly, where you're meant to leave it on for a few minutes, imagine what that would do. Okay, so it's been a few hours. The car is now clean. It's looking absolutely lovely. Stjärna Gloss products they just don't miss. They are incredible. Especially one that I definitely want to shout out is this stuff. Scara, I think that's how you pronounce it. Gloss enhancing polish. This stuff is incredible. So I think it's ready to chuck the cover on and put it to bed.